This is Carla. Welcome back to the studio. So, first, I'm going to say this, still having the issues with YouTube. As a matter of fact, I'm doing this as a pre recorded kind of live, I guess you can say. Basically, go live and then do it as unlisted, and that way nobody's on here with me while I'm doing this. And and then I'd go back and I'll go and add all the little extra stuff and everything to it. So I have my laptop over here and I'm kind of getting that set up. Now, YouTube has not been, I'm just going to say this, YouTube hasn't been playing nice for the past few weeks. And it just hasn't been with me. It's been with some other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who do video content. Um, one of the things that was so easy was to kind of set up your lives like a couple of days in advance, and all you have to do is just hit go live and just do what you have to do. But for some reason, YouTube would change the orientation as soon as we would go live, even though we've set it at horizontal, because trying to show creating a project and you only get to see about this much of the screen instead of this much of the screen. So I don't know what's wrong. I mean, others have reached out, but one of the things that I saw that this did was before I can hit go live, it just automatically went live. Um, so there's that. Okay. So just want to put this out there right up the front, right out front. Can't talk. Camera's rolling. Can't talk. I'm just going to say that too. Um, in this video, I'm not doing any crafting in this video. This is just me kind of documenting kind of like a bit of a milestone for me. So it was exactly a year ago today, and today is September 23rd, 2024. It was a year ago today that I started creating video content for this channel. Now, I'm just going to kind of talk about, my journey through doing this, some of the things that I've learned. Um, did I gain what I wanted out of doing this? There's some kind of analytical stuff that I'm gonna um, tell you about, and really, I'm doing this because for me, it's a documentation type of thing. And also, if there's anybody out there that may be interested in doing videos, maybe something that I've experienced or I've done, maybe it'll inspire you and maybe it'll help you too. I do have a couple of members on my team that are interested in wanting to do videos, but they're not quite there yet. So maybe this is something that they can come back to and watch and maybe help them. I mean, they got me here in person, so I can help them, but of course, it's something that they can go back and they can look at. So, if you like I said, I'm not creating any projects tonight or today, or it's actually evening. It's early evening that I'm filming this. So a little bit about before me doing the videos and why I started and all that. So a little bit of a background. I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator back in October of 2013. And when I joined, I was part of a really amazing, let me say this too, there's no makeup. So like I said, this was really impromptu. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, so when I joined, I was part of a pretty amazing team. And I also got to trim this hair because it's getting in my eyes, so I apologize. You never know what you're going to get on one of my videos, but We'll try and get through this. So, I was part of a pretty amazing team. So, my second level upline, she was pretty successful with her Stampin' Up business. She had a sizable team, that includes, her direct level, second, and third. And so a majority of those demos that were on her team, most of them were demos just basically to get the discount. So they'd be they could be labeled as like happy shoppers, getting the discount, or a hobby demo. Um, there's different names that you can go by. They're basically, again, they just want to get a discount on the product. They're not really looking to build a business out of being a demonstrator. So some of the people that were on her team, they were interested in building as a business. But again, like I said, most, just wanted the discount. So when I first joined, I was not against, doing videos or doing, in-person events, taking this and building it as a business. In the very beginning, I just needed to learn. I mean, when it came to creating and using the product and all, that wasn't a problem. It was just like the business side of it, like if you do an in-person class, what kind of things do you do and cover, and you know if you have somebody who has like this big wish list, do you make mention about the opportunity of joining, to get a discount. Now early on, when you don't real now, this is me personally, and I don't know if there's anybody out there that's like this, but I, for the most part, growing up, have always been the type of person that getting up in front of a group of people, even if I know them, and even like being on here and there's like all of you that are watching, I would get very nervous and I would not do good at all. I would fumble on my words, and I would just kind of like feel kind of embarrassed. You have all these eyes on you. And me, I am not someone that is like, hey, look at me. That's just not me. But anyway, so I always kind of had that fear of doing that. And I found that if I was like up in front of a group of people and I was talking about something that I really knew, that I mean, I understood the aspects of it, I knew what I was talking about, you know, I knew that, okay, if I had a question come to me, that I would be in a good place to where I can give an answer. Now, you sometimes, you may get a question that you really don't know the answer. And at that point, you don't cower down and feel bad that you don't know the answer to it. You just like, okay, I'm going to find that out because I honestly don't know what the answer is. So I found that the more I use the product, and I just kind of, there's a lot of training stuff that we can look at and everything. And simply me asking my second level upline questions, she was always so helpful in answering questions. Um, Again, most of her team, they were just discount shoppers basically. So on a weekly basis, we used to do like a I don't want to say it's Zoom because it wasn't Zoom that we were using. I think it was through Google, where we would do like a show me Sunday. So we would kind of show the projects we've been working on during the week. She always had in-person classes that she did on Saturdays. So she would always show us the projects, that they made, at her get together. And so it was, she always explained things on what she was doing in her business and everything, but she never pushed it on anybody. So I learned a lot from what she had said, on those video calls. So again, it took me a while to start doing videos. And like I said, I wasn't against it. I just needed to, one, make sure I had the info, not just with videos, but, doing in-person classes. Um, the other thing too is kind of having a setup, that was going to work for me. So for me personally, when I go and I watch other content creators, there are some things that I will say that kind of turns me off. I mean, I don't want to sound mean or anything. I'm really not. But when you do a bit, so like for me, it's like I want to be able to see what you're doing. So, lighting is important, not too much light where everything's washed out and not too little to where you can't really see anything. Also being prepared, whatever it is that you're going to work on, having all of those materials and everything right there with you, not constantly having, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that, and constantly, like, maybe going to other areas of the room to go get things that, you should have had in place, because your video could be, ultimately, with what you're doing, could be 15 minutes, but if your video is an hour long, you kind of see, well, why is it an hour long? Yeah, it's because you keep stepping away to get stuff. And to me, I just can't sit there and like not want to, like, just want to fall asleep, to be honest. So so to me, there were some aspects that when I wanted to do videos, I wanted to have things in a way that I would like if I was watching it. Now I do periodically do watch my videos, just to kind of go back and, and some things I will pick up on, like, yeah, the word like and, yeah, I say that way too much. And it's kind of funny when I say, you're saying that too much, you're saying that too much. I kind of like end up critiquing myself. But anyway, anywho. So that again, the setup, the lighting, having, something that I could film with that was going to have good quality, and pretty much, you know, to me, I found it would probably be easier doing it through a cell phone. So at that time, way back when, I didn't exactly have the greatest, of phones that I thought would give me a good quality video. I also didn't really have a stand, to hold my phone. And way back when, I did get myself one of those Arkin stands, and it kind of worked. And I did do just kind of like a practice video on showing projects I did. As a matter of fact, that video is on my business Facebook page, Blue City Stampin' Studio. That video is on there, and I will tell you that was a pre-recorded video, and I will tell you I definitely was my own worst critic, because I won't even tell you how many times I stopped and restarted that video, because I just felt like, okay, I would say something. Okay, what am I saying next? Okay, that didn't sound right. You sounded dorky. And it's like, I mean, again, I was my own worst critic. So I felt that if I did a live, or I did these pre-recorded videos, I felt like I was going to have a whole lot of those moments, and I didn't know if it was even going to work, basically. But let's go on years later. So again, for the longest amount of time, I talked about how I wanted to do videos, but I just really didn't step in and go and do that because I didn't exactly have the right setup. And I found that my, workstation wise, if I was doing videos, I found that it was better if I had my work surface up higher, to where I wasn't like leaning over and straining my back when I was, creating the projects. I also learned that if I sat down and did my videos, that for some reason those videos seemed like they went longer than they really should have. So a lot of things that I learned early on, what to do and what not to do. So where did this all kind of start? Back, so when I first became a demo, I had chosen a business name and I called it Inspired Creations. Now, I went by that for the longest amount of time, and then it was July of last year. I decided, okay, let me start focusing on wanting on building this Stampin' Up demonstratorship as a business. So I did a great job of being my own best customer and keeping myself, active like all this time. So I felt that, okay, with what I've invested in it, I wanted to try and do something where I can get a little something back from it, basically. And one of the things that, like I said, my second level upline, one of the things that she said that really, really stuck with me. So whenever we had like a convention, or later on it became like a virtual event, when we couldn't gather together and all that, she, it seemed like, when she did her classes and everything, you would think, okay, she had that whole catalog. I mean, when we had, the in-person events, literally as soon as we got the catalog, we had a printout of what it was that we can pre-order from that catalog. Well, she would order all the stuff, and I mean, before that day was even done, her order was already placed. So you would think, like, wow, she just ordered, like, at some point, she ordered the whole catalog, and not only that, she also recognized everybody that was on her team. So every year, not every year, every month, everybody that was on her team, so we're talking about first, second, and third level of her team, if you remained active, um, let me back that up, not monthly, quarterly, because there is a quarterly minimum that you have to meet of $300. Now, these amounts, when I'm speaking about amounts, it's in US dollars, okay? Because that's where we are, or where I am. So for everybody that was on her team on all three of those levels, if they were still active, she always did quarterly gifts. Now, when she would do her quarterly gifts, she had the metallic blue bubble envelopes, the six, I think it's like 6 by 9 size bubble envelopes. So you always know if you had that in your mailbox, you had some happy mail. And so she kind of spoiled us. And so, I mean, I learned a lot about that, from her. But one of the things that she said that, when it came to ordering, stuff for quarterly gifts, when it came to ordering stuff, that she was going to use it for classes and stuff like that, that she said that that never came out of the income that she made on her, her regular day job, and it did not come out of her husband's pay either. So the household income, the money for anything for Stampin' Up didn't never came out of that money. It all came from the money that she made in like in commissions and volume rebates and things like that. So, I mean, to me, I hear that and I'm thinking, that's what I would really like, not having to touch that money that, you earn from your regular Monday through Friday type job, that's strictly for household related stuff and whatnot. And then when it came to product, for doing the Stampin' Up business, came from the money that you earned from this business. So to me, it was like, okay, that's ultimately what I wanted to do. So I always had kind of had that in mind. So when July of last year rolled around, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start thinking, really put focus into building my Stampin' Up business. And so I knew one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to do videos. Now, I've had my YouTube channel basically ever since October 13th of 2013. But really, I mean, I of course did not have any content out there. I basically had it so I can watch other videos and all that. And again, I follow a lot of demonstrators. So, I mean, I always felt encouraged, like, look, they can do it. I mean, they're making it look easy peasy and all that. So I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I mean, I know I can do anything that I put my mind to. So I was determined, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get it all figured out. So back in July of last year, I thought, okay, let me think about changing my business name. Now, the reason why I decided to change it was because if you went out on YouTube and you did a search for inspired creations, there were hundreds of YouTube channels that came up that either were inspired creations or inspired creations by, maybe, it has their name on it. So to me, it's like, okay, I didn't want to end up adding another inspired creations out there. So then I put in thought that I was going to change the name. And so I had to think about, well, what do I want to change it to? So I started, thinking about where I'm living, since I started this business, where am I living? How can I kind of tie that in to the name without really saying where I'm at, in the event, say if I had moved from where I'm living, like say to another state, I'd still be able to kind of take that name with me and not look to change it again. Because again, once starting to do videos and putting myself out there and building this business, I can't be constantly changing the name because that's just going to cause a lot of confusion to people. So I needed something that whatever I was going to change it to, it was going to be permanent. So I thought about, okay, where I'm at. I mean, excuse me, I didn't want to put Memphis in there because, again, like I said, if I ever moved, I mean, it'd be crazy to have a business name that has Memphis in it and I live clear across the other end of the United States. I mean, so I mean, I couldn't use Memphis, and I kind of thought, well, what could I use that kind of sort of said Memphis without saying it? Also, if you know me, I am a huge Elvis fan. So, of course, I can't use anything with his name in it or Graceland or, so there's some things, okay, I can't use. Now, one of the other things that, Memphis has been called is like Bluff City. Couldn't use that because there's actually a Bluff City in Tennessee. However, it's clear across on the east end of Tennessee. So no, I couldn't use anything with Bluff City in it either. So what is Memphis really no is really big on, and it's been music. So I thought, okay, well, we're going to kind of like have a bit of a music theme. So then it's like, okay, I started thinking about, some different things. And I would plug it into the search on YouTube to see, okay, is this name in there? So when I came up with Blue City Stampin' Studio, nobody else had anything that was close to that. I even Googled, like I Googled Blue City to see what would come up. Now I know that there's at least Blue City Cafe that's down off of Beale Street. So I knew that there was a Blue City there. But I also did a search on Google to see, okay, what else is out there that says Blue City? So there is a Blues City studio. It was actually, and I don't even know if they're still in business or not, but it was a photography business. So I'm like, okay, so I need to add something that would kind of make it different. So that's where the stamping kind of went in there. So I mean, yeah, Blue City Stamping Studio, it's a mouthful. It is a long thing, and even creating the new email with that, yes, it is a lot of typing, but I needed something that was, different. So once I had that in place, it's like, okay, now it's like mustering up the courage, doing these videos and all that. And again, at this point, I didn't have like all the lighting, I didn't have the right setup. Now, the doing the right setup took, a bit of time. So there was something that kind of jump started it a little bit. So back at the end of August of last year, Stampin' Up does an event for their leaders. So those are those demos that hold a title of Silver Elite and above. Those yeah, those titles, you have, a team and all that. So you're building a business. And so these events, you're getting tips and things that you can do to effectively build your business and grow your team and your sales and things like that. So when they did this event, they had a couple that's from Tasmania who came in and had spoke to those leaders. Well, Stampin' Up thought, well, why don't, they had, they work directly with direct sellers, and it's all about, direct sellers and social media, how to build your business using social media. Now, the primary thing that they were using was Facebook. So Stampin' Up thought, well, why don't we open up like their 2 week challenge to all of their demonstrators worldwide. And so what it was a 2 week challenge. Every single day there was a different challenge that you had to do. So basically you were really using Facebook, as your social media, but again, all the techniques, all that stuff, you can kind of use it across the board with different, social media accounts. So it's basically building your business without pushing the whole selling thing, like, well, buy this and buy that. It was about, interacting with people that were on your page and all that. It was a way of them kind of getting to know you and you getting to know them and all that. So they did a challenge every single day for 14 days. And we never knew what that challenge was going to be until like early, that morning. So I thought, okay, so this is going to help me in jump starting this. Okay. So a lot of things I learned about Oh, sorry about that. I just hit the thing. So my camera's shaking. I apologize. Um, so I learned about Canva, and I found Canva was a very good thing. Um, I found Canva wasn't only good for creating, um, graphics and things like that, for my posts, but I've also gone and used it, to create my thumbnail graphics for my videos. I also learned how to create, the an opening and closing credit with music. And oh, there's more music I can use for taking videos that I want to speed up, certain areas and all that. So I found Canva. Yes, best one of the best tools. So there you can use it for free, but you're limited to a lot of stuff. So when you actually subscribe, I subscribe to the pro, and it costs me $14.99 a month. It's a little bit cheaper if you do it by, if you do it yearly. But with that, it's like you have access to all this music that you can use. There's a lot of graphics, a lot of different fonts that you can use as well. So to me, that worked out to be a really good investment in building my business. Um, Two times, so halfway through it, they threw a challenge of doing a Facebook Live. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I've been following demos for a really long time, and I've also seen some of them have had issues with Facebook. So I decided, okay, when I go to do my videos, I don't want to use Facebook. I want to use YouTube because I don't want to deal with all the hassles. Well, the other thing too is, and I will tell you, when it came to doing this, I struggled with doing that because you are actually going live. And of course, I'm doing it through my phone. And the problem is, I have no clue how to go live on Facebook because had never done it. So this one day when I had to come up with a challenge, I'm like, okay, I got to get this challenge done. And literally, I didn't go and have dinner until I got that challenge done. I went as far as creating a script. Okay. I talked about techniques, and not techniques, but um, some tips. Basically, it was tips like, how I store my card stock, how I, and, the scraps of card stock, kind of like how I use my tearing tape, there were a couple of different ones that I threw in there. And I literally set that phone down to kind of record me and I read it just to see, okay, how long was it going to be? Then when it came to filming it, it was like, okay, so trying to read and keeping my place and showing, these different tips, it's like I practiced over and over and over and over again. And I got to the point, I'm so done with this and I just need to get this recorded, get this challenge done. And yeah. So I didn't have the setup I have now. I was at a desk that was much lower and I just had a ring light and yeah, trying to figure out how to go live. Yeah, that was fun. And when all was said and done, and I went back and I watched it, well, let's see, the orientation was wrong. And the ring, so I had a laminated grid mat for, basically what I was working on. Yeah, you saw the glare of the ring light on that when I didn't have anything in place on it. So at that point, I'm like, I'm not doing this over again. I was so done with that. And I'm like, man, I was just like kind of nerves because really you were going live. It wasn't pre-recorded. And it's like, okay, who's going to end up jumping on here and watching me? Like, just basically feel like I'm just going to fail. I'm just going to bomb. But I got through it. No, but thank God nobody was on while I was live. But again, I got through it. We got through the challenges, and I had a feeling we're probably going to go live again. And the challenge on the very last day was to go live again. Now, this time it was a little bit different. I felt, hey, you know what? You can do this. You don't need to have a script. I did a little challenge. One of the days that on our challenge, I did a thing to get people to kind of participate. And that challenge was, well, if I gave you $100 on for Christmas decorations, what would you buy? And basically those who commented, I gave it like about a few days time from that challenge. And I said, okay, at the end, all who have commented, I am going to choose three winners. And what I was giving them, every year for Christmas, for our church, we do a women's Christmas dinner. So every year since 2013, I have made like little ornaments, some of them were just strictly like paper and stuff. it was just like a little gift from me to them. And so I had leftovers. Sometimes I make more than what I really need. So I grabbed a few different ones that I had, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose three winners. And so I did that, and I had the camera not on my phone camera wasn't on me, but it was on a computer screen. Also learned about Wheel of Names, and I did that. And it's like, okay, did that challenge, did the drawing for that challenge on that last day. Then I basically stood, had the camera facing me. It was in my ring light because I didn't have this stand at the time. And basically you could talk about like whatever. So at that point, it was like the middle of September. So I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about World Card Making Day. This was, I don't know if this, I think this may have been like the first time or second time that Stampin' Up was holding a virtual event that was free, to demos and to to everybody. And so I talked about, okay, that was happening. I was doing an in-person, get together for that day. And then I was also going to go live. Now, I went and made the comment that I was going to be doing a YouTube live. Okay, that didn't work. Why did it not work? Because it wasn't until I was running behind and the morning that I was going to have my event, I'm like, okay, let me go set up, the YouTube live. I learned that if you want to do a YouTube live using your cell phone, you have to have at least 50 subscribers. I did not have that. So basically, I had no choice in the matter and had to do a Facebook Live. And I will tell you, trying to schedule a Facebook Live, yeah, it was like, I don't know if I had set it up right. All I knew is that Facebook Lives was not what I wanted to do. But when the time came, I managed to get the video done, and I basically created the projects that we had done, that day. So, what's nice about you can take a Facebook video and you can actually put it out there on YouTube, which is what I did. So, the video that I did on the last day of the challenge, talking about, what I was going to be doing with my business, and then World Card Making Day, that video ended up on YouTube. So it was the first video that was on here. And then I had done a short, we had on stage at home. So I just kind of did a short with all these pictures I took of the things that, the little props and things like that that we did for on stage, which on stage is Stampin' Up's convention. That's just what they named it to. But anyway, it was then September 23rd that I believe it was a Saturday, that okay, I'm going to start doing videos. And I had to think about, what did I want to do. Now, to me, in the very beginning, to me it was all about just getting a lot of content out there, because if I wanted to go to my business Facebook page or to my personal Facebook page to kind of like, hey, I'm starting up this channel, there's I'd like to build up some subscribers to it. I needed to have some content out there so they could see what my channel was all about. So I started off where it was a Saturday, so it was a Step It Up Saturday. And so it was three cards, very simple, working one up, then going to like something that was a little more detailed. Now, that was done with nothing but current product. Because then on Thursdays, it was going to be Throwback Thursdays, where I was then creating three cards using retired product, which is what I have plenty of. So I was doing that. I was doing holiday videos. Then I thought, okay, when my paper pumpkin kit comes in, I can do one of each project out of the kit, So then came like a monthly Christmas card inspiration because my plan was to do an in-person, get together to create, your Christmas cards throughout the year. Now, I will tell you that for this year, that really hasn't been as successful as I thought it would. There really doesn't seem to be much interest in it. So, I mean, I'm going to give it through to the end of the year, basically. And really, if nobody is really interested, I may not do it next year. So we'll see about that. But I was doing all these videos, and then I learned that when I was filming them, that the one little tip that I'm going to give you that's very important. If you're going to film using your phone, you need to make sure that you have the space on your phone. Because what I was doing, I was again, I couldn't go live. So I was doing pre-recorded like video clips. And at first I found, okay, why is it that I'm filming and there were times I didn't know my phone had cut off. I learned that you needed to pull the 5,000 plus pictures slash little video clips and all that you had on your phone. You had no more room on your little SD card. hmm So yeah, you got to make sure you have space on your card if you're doing pre-recorded videos. And this is where I found that I went quicker when I was standing rather than sitting. So there was a lot of learning that I did, early on, and I wrote things down. So I had something to reference back to. Here are the steps on what I did. I basically, still do that stuff. I print out a Word document that will be everything I put in a description of a video. It will also have like the dimensions of all the cardstock and paper pieces. I would print out something that would list all the supplies that I used. Um, all that info I would do ahead of time so I had something to reference as I was doing the video. Um, again, I found that when it came to doing my video clips, with the settings that I have on my phone, I knew I couldn't go over like 14 minutes without the file then being too big because you cannot load anything larger than 1 gigabyte to Canva. It'll tell you you need to either cut it or you need to make the file smaller before you were able to upload. So I learned that the hard way in the very beginning. So a lot of things that I learned, and like I said, I use Canva to do the editing on the videos. So that I just started playing. It's like, oh, like this music. Oh, I can do this opening credit and this closing credit. Now I have not figured out how to add that to a live like some people have. That's going to be the next thing. But anyway, everything was working fine. And then, a few months ago, it seemed like when I was trying to upload clips to Canva, I don't know if it's the time of day. I just don't know, but sometimes in the very beginning they would keep erroring out and I have to keep trying over and over and over again. So something that should be really quick takes a long time just to get them all uploaded. Now, once all those video clips are uploaded, putting the whole video together is just kind of dragging everything and adding the music to where I want it. And that is easy peasy and that goes very, very quickly. So there has been a lot of things that I have learned along the way. And like I said, along the way too, I got a different setup. I have, this table that I had, or a table or desktop that I had gotten off of Amazon. Not Amazon, IKEA. Not Amazon, IKEA. What I did get from IKEA was what I got from Amazon the IKEA furniture, like what's behind me, the desk and all, that came from IKEA. But this table, it only came so high and I needed it higher up. So off of Amazon, I got these furniture risers that you can adjust the height, and so I basically have that under all four legs of this table. So it brings it up much higher. I'm not straining my back, when I'm, creating and all that. I find that even when I'm not doing a video and I'm just creating, that standing here makes it a lot easier and quicker and all that. Over time, I got more lighting. So the lighting I found is now good. And so everything, the picture is clear and everything. So I think I have found, my whole setup. So with that being said, so over the years time, you know, what did I change? You know, um, what are the kind of like the analytics of, has it been successful and all that? So I will tell you that once I was able to do lives on YouTube, my Step It Up Saturday videos, I stopped doing those. And the reason why was because that was featuring current product. Well, my Friday night lives were going to feature current product. And I found that from the time that I started doing the videos, September 23rd of 2023, and as we got into December, again, like I said, each video that I was doing, I was creating like three different projects. And to me, that was a lot because I still have my daytime 8 to 5 job that I have to do. So when it came to time, the time to create the three projects and to kind of, prepare everything, for the video and all that, so much time was spent on doing that that it was like, okay, three cards, three cards, three cards, three cards. And just became like too much. And by the time I got to like December, like the middle of December, it was like I was starting to feel burned out because I felt like all I was doing was videos. I felt like I wasn't really doing anything else that I wanted to do. Because there's other crafting things that I like to do. I mean, I have diamond painting. I have those looms, that you can do the pot holders. What else do I got? There's another crafting. Oh, cross stitching. I like doing that too. So, I mean, I don't get to have any time to do that stuff because everything was being focused on creating the cards and the content and everything else. So I felt, okay, I need to change something up. So at the beginning of the year, I decided, okay, when I do a Throwback Thursday, when I do a monthly Christmas card inspiration, um, I'm going to do 2 cards rather than three. Holidays, I felt, okay, those are special videos, do three. Then when it came to the Fridays, okay, that was going to be three because one of the things I was going to do too is offer free card kits when somebody had placed a minimum, order. Now, I'll kind of talk about that. There may be a change there as well. So I really felt like I was burned out, and it was all about trying to get this content out there that I'm like, okay, I got to change something up because I just really felt burned out and tired and all that. And I wanted to be able to do other things as well. So at the end of January, uh, as a matter of fact, I'm looking down because I have this written down. So on January 26th of this year, I started doing my Friday night lives. And from, like I said, from there, I changed up how many projects I was doing, like say on Throwback Thursday, monthly Christmas card inspiration. So now we are on the 23rd. and where do I stand now with my channel. So as of this past Saturday, I did hit 500 subscribers. Now I will tell you that I have this written down. It was back on September 4th. I had hit 500 subscribers. Now, the next day, it showed I had 496. Even though YouTube in the analytic area said you hit 500 subscribers, I now had lost 4. And it took a very long time to get back up to the 500 again. Again, something's going on with YouTube. I don't know what it is. Pre-scheduling lives work just fine. You set it up at horizontal, you put in all your settings, everything is there. All you have to do at that time is hit live and everything's good. Now it's like I can't schedule it, because if I try scheduling it, I go live, it's going to be messed up, and then I got to stop it and then create a new one. So I just do the lives right up front. I'm not even scheduling, but I got everything set up on my laptop to once I go live, I'll go live like 15 minutes earlier, and I'm not doing any projects. I'm basically getting all the information in the description of the video. I'm getting the picture that I took for my thumbnail. I'm sending that link, to Facebook and everything. And so I'm basically getting all that stuff set up ahead of time. And like I said, there's other demos that have had this problem happening to them. Another demo said, hey, at one point they lost 26 subscribers. They had never lost subscribers. They've always gained them, and all of a sudden they lost 26. So there's got to be some kind of update, something that YouTube did that messed something up, because a couple of demos, like I said, that I know that used to schedule and things would be fine, they have chatted with somebody with YouTube and they didn't give them an answer as to what the problem is. So we don't know when it's going to be fixed. So with that, as of this past Saturday, the 22nd, no, the 21st, I had hit 500 subscribers. Um, This video right here that I'm doing, this marks 150 videos. So that's a combination of all the pre-recorded stuff and the lives that I've done and the one short that I did as well. So a total of 150 with this video. Um, let's see, what else? So I also looked in the analytics. They're pretty cool. So for the entire time that I've been doing video content on this channel, out of all of the videos, there's been a total of 14,240 views altogether, that, of what I've put out there. Now, I've also put out here, put down what's been the top 3 most viewed videos. So there was one that I did at the beginning of July. So on the first of each month, I do a monthly Christmas card inspiration. So for that one, I used the retired Christmas season stamp set along with the retired Holly Jolly stamp set. So the Holly Jolly has all the greetings. Christmas season just had like greenery images and pine cone images and all that. So it was kind of like a builder stamp set. So for that one, I decided to do the one sheet wonder technique on it. I was completely blown away when after I had done that video. So to kind of tell you what that did, my subscriber count, let's see, at the end of June, my subscriber count bear with me. I have my planner right here, and I kind of write this stuff down when I get into a new month. So I had a total of 90 subscribers at the end of June. At the end of July, I had 473 subscribers. So my subscriber count jumped up by 368. And again, it was because of that particular monthly Christmas card inspiration. I mean, lots of comments on it, lots of likes on it. That one had, this is the video that had the most views on it too. Um 5,887 views on that video alone. So that's the highest viewed video that I have done. Then I had done, there was a paper pumpkin kit. Now, this is what's crazy. This paper pumpkin kit, it was the Warm Wishes. It was the November 2023 kit. And all that was were like these images of like a house that was kind of like a package wrap type of thing. So like there were only two different designs and they were very simple. There was really not much to them at all. That was um the second viewed video at 862. So that used to be the first until that Christmas one. Then after I had done that monthly Christmas card inspiration on at the beginning of July, right after that, I thought, okay, one of the comments that I had on that particular video was that they didn't have that. I mean, they loved the whole concept of those cards. And of course, a lot of them wanted to create the same thing. However, because it was a retired stamp set, they couldn't get it anymore. I mean, the woman that commented, she said that she even looked on Etsy and she just couldn't find it anywhere. So I thought, okay, well, we had just gotten this new suite of products in our online exclusives. This was the Greetings of the Season. And so this one primarily just had like images. And I needed to pull in another stamp set that had greetings on it. Um, so I did the One Sheet Wonder again using that stamp set, and that one had 524 views on it. So those were my top three videos. Now, me doing the videos, okay, I mean, the purpose of doing these, there's a couple of things. One of them, is it's now a way of getting yourself out there. So way back in the day when Stampin' Up first started, I mean, literally the only way that you were really able to build your business is by doing in-person events. You really didn't have this, doing videos and all that. So this way, people know what it is that I'm doing. I'm putting myself out there. People who are local to me end up finding me, because I've had people ask, reach out to me and ask me if I do in-person classes. Um, so doing the videos, that was the important thing. Also, with putting yourself out there, again, you're not just building, your YouTube channel, with your subscribers and the views and all that other stuff. But then it's also helping in building your business, because if I'm in the US, so if you're in the US and you may be in New York or you may be in California, you can order through me as long as you're still in the US. Now, someone in Canada can't order through me. I can't order from somebody or whatever. Mama demo, I couldn't really order from someone else, that's in another country. So what has happened, in the aspect of doing videos? So I kind of looked at, you know, the orders that I've received, okay? As far as, customers went, how much in sales, that happened in this whole year's time. So between that and even like new team members that join my team. So as far as building my team, two two new members. Um, Actually, one of them, what's really interesting, she loves YouTube. And so she would watch a lot of crafting related YouTube videos. And she basically did a search to see, okay, who's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Memphis area that's actually doing YouTube videos. So that's how she found me, was through that. And if you watch my lives and all that, she's kind of referenced as my assistant, and she's got an interest in doing videos at some point. She just needs to kind of get her set up and all that. So, but anyway, so it resulted in two new team members on my team. So it's not a lot. Um, as far as customers, I gained five new customers, that place periodic orders. They don't order, like every month or anything like that, or every few weeks or anything like that. And as far as sales goes, it was like under $1,000. So as far as doing the videos and growing my business with new team members and and new customers, it's not much. I mean, it's a little bit. Um, but again, all this stuff does not happen overnight. You're not going to build a huge team overnight. That's just not going to happen. As far as customers go, I mean, again, you got to also think about the times that we're in. A lot of things are more expensive now. So you're not going to have, people placing humongous orders, like every month. It's just not feasible. So if I keep up with what I'm doing, will my channel grow bigger? More subscribers, more views, and all that other stuff? It will. Okay. And if you're not familiar with, when you do YouTube videos, that when you reach 1,000 subscribers on your channel, that's when you can start getting monetized. Now, again, in order for that to happen, again, you got to have so many subscribers. You have to, consistently, you got to put some, content out there. You just can't add any more content. You have to add more. And they look at other things too, like, how many people are interacting, viewing, commenting, liking, sharing your video. All that stuff kind of helps YouTube in pushing your content out into people's feed. Those people that they like the card making videos. So my video, even though they're not subscribed to me, they don't know me, it'll come up in their feed. And that's what happened with that one monthly Christmas card inspiration video I did in July. It ended up in a lot of people's feed because a lot of people were comment, oh, your video came up in my feed. Oh, I like that you're using retired. Oh, I really like this technique. So there was a huge interaction when it came to that video. So I felt, okay, you just have to keep on going. Don't quit, just keep going. But at the same time, like I said, I work a full-time job, Monday through Friday. I've been creating all this stuff for doing my videos, plus every month I do an in-person class. So then it's like, okay, now you have to design stuff for that. And then on top of that, when I do my Friday videos, when I do the in-person classes, I'm also creating colored PDFs that have pictures of the projects, that has dimensions of everything. And then there's even, I include the link to the video in there as well. So, well, when I do the Friday Night Lives, not when I do the in person, but so all of that, it's a lot of work. And I mean, it's just not like I said, it's not handed to you on a platter. You have to work to make it succeed. And and in most cases, it's not going to happen overnight. So if this is something you really want to do, you know, when it seems like nothing's happening, just keep at it. Because again, I have noticed that even when I do my lives, that there's people that are watching, but they're not interacting, they're not commenting, which, for an example, like one of my coworkers, when I actually saw her a couple of weeks ago, when we went to the office for that day, she admitted to me that she had been watching my lives. And I was like, well, why are you not saying anything? And I told her, you need to say something, because what I started doing, um, since I've been doing these videos, I'm going to tell you that I have a lot of cards. I mean, a whole lot of cards, because you think you're making three samples, like say for a Friday or a holiday video. And then when you do the video, you got another three cards. So you got six cards potentially for one video. And you figure you're doing, I mean, we're talking about, well, at least what? I can't say 150, because some of them I didn't do, actual, card making or anything, but just figure that there's hundreds of cards. And so I decided that when I do my Friday Night Lives, those three cards that I make that night, what I do at the end, I do a wheel of names and I draw three people to win one of the cards that I made. So that's one way to kind of get, some of the cards out of here. Now, like I said, I have a lot. I got to really take the time to take all those cards and kind of like, kind of sort them out and just give them as gifts. Give them as gifts. I got to get envelopes, a whole lot of envelopes, but there's a lot of cards. So that was something that's recently that I started doing when I do my lives. Now, one of the things I also do on my lives, I decided when I first started, okay, I was going to offer the free card kits with a minimum $35 order. Now, since I've been doing these lives, like I said, near the end of January, I have not had anybody, um, you know, place an order with me, to get the card kit. And one of the reasons that, I completely get and understand as to why, because I know that there's people that are on here watching that they're fellow Stampin' Up demonstrators. So for them to order through me when they can order it themselves, it just doesn't make sense. Now, if I had a lot more people that were jumping on the videos and everything, if I had a bigger customer base, then, I would probably be doing better with that. I mean, I even want to offer like monthly online classes as well. But something like that, can't do it until I start building a customer base. The same thing, a lot of demonstrators, when we get new catalogs, they do, like paper shares and embellishment shares and ribbon shares and whatnot. Again, I want to do that, but I can't do that yet until there's a customer base, in place. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, these are thoughts and ideas that I want to do in the future, but yeah, I may end up taking away that part. If something's not working after all this time, then I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll just kind of like, stop for a while and then maybe revisit it later on. So that's a little bit about, my journey with doing the videos, what's been, my results and my outcomes and all that. Now, I hope that this video encourage, if you were somebody that, you were thinking about doing videos, that maybe you found some information to be very helpful. If you have any questions, please put in the comments. I'll be more than happy, to answer any of them. I'll include my email address if you don't want to play, do a comment, in this video. You can send me an email and you can ask me the question, and I'll try and help you in any way that I can. Like I said, it's been a learning process for me. So, I mean, I've made mistakes. You know, things have gone wrong, but it's all been a learning process. So again, what I'm going to do now, let me just say this, okay? And the purpose and the reasoning, like I said, I don't even think I finished my sentence on this. My reasoning, my full reasoning on doing the videos. So, one, again, it was to put myself out there, so people knew what it was that I was doing. Now, I'm at the point now that I don't have fear on getting on this camera and being out there, especially with like no makeup on, because I'll tell you what, when I do my lives, to be honest with you, I may go the whole day with no makeup on, okay? And then I'm putting makeup on after 5 o'clock to go and then do my live at 7, to then after the fact now removing all the makeup. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of lazy. And it's just more work, you know? There's things you got to do before you go to bed, right? So I'm a lot more comfortable with doing this. And I know, and the mindset, I'm going to say this, okay? If you worry about doing videos and you're like, well, I don't want to mess up, I don't. Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. And this is kind of like what I just kind of live by when it comes to doing these videos. You are never going to have the perfect video, meaning the perfect setup, the perfect lighting, that fancy software. Some demos have that fancy software where you can flip, with like two different cameras, like maybe your phone and something else. Yeah, I don't have that. And to be honest with you, when I started doing the wheel of names at the end of my lives, um, I want people to see the wheel when I'm spinning it. So literally, I will take the laptop I got sitting like right over here. I will bring it into the screen and have the screen facing up. So that way they're seeing the screen when I go to spin the wheel. Yeah, I don't have, like I said, I don't have that ability to like, the software to where I can like flip that. I don't know. I mean, I'll figure it out at some point in time, but anyway, so again, I like I've mentioned probably a couple of times in this video, is that for some reason when you have a camera on and you're filming, sometimes this and this do not work well together. And sometimes, you will forget words, or you will all of a sudden just like you start talking and then it's like the word you can't get out and it's a blah 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 blah. I've done that a few times too. So again, if videos are something you want to do, it's like just know that your videos are not going to be perfect, okay? They're not being produced by, some big time producer, and there's all that really expensive cameras and lighting and all that. You're not going to have that, okay? And two, you don't need to spend like hundreds of dollars, on equipment. Like I said, I have like two clip-on lamps on here that came from IKEA that three different tones of white to it. This is the brightest white that's on them, but then I can also change them. They got different colors too. I started out with a ring light. Now I got the ring light right there. It's not on, but that too, three different tones of white. I can make it lighter, I can make it brighter, and I can also change it to colors too. Now I don't know how well using colors and doing, the creating cards would work out, but that's basically what I have with my lighting. My phone, my phone is a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and when I look at the quality of the picture, I mean, like I said, I can see myself on my laptop here. It's clear, so it works for me. I have a stand that's clamped to this table, and it holds my phone. That what I got that off of Amazon, not expensive at all. So really, you don't need to spend so much money on all this different equipment. Now, again, I do also have um, I do have a microphone that, it has the little adapter that I can stick into my phone. It's where, you would put in the charging cord. And then I have a little clip-on microphone. Now, I will tell you something that in the early days when I had this and I went to use it, I literally started my live where I was on here and I was just talking away. And this wasn't turned on. So people saw my mouth moving, but they didn't hear a word that I said. Now I'm doing this video and basically the speaker from my phone. I mean, maybe that phone's about this far away from me, and it does pick up my talking. I'm not talking very loud, so it is picking up, my voice very well. Now, if I were to turn around over this way, or if I walked over there to go grab something, of course, if I'm talking, it's not going to be as loud, through the phone. So, um, I mean, that's what I use. And again, I didn't spend thousands of dollars on the lighting and all that. I didn't do. So you can do this, inexpensively, and think about, what it is that you want to do. I'm looking at this primarily, I'm not sitting here just talking like I did in this video all the time. I'm actually creating something. So this is the setup that, that works for me. The other thing too is, like I said, me doing the videos, it's not just putting me out there and teaching card making, and building, maybe a customer base, a team. Um, the other thing too, and I can say that this may sound corny, but it's not corny, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to like, no, that don't sound corny at all. I also kind of look at this of like leaving a legacy type of thing. So I never know what's going to be the state of YouTube, way down the road, many, many years from now. And, hey, I'm not saying I'm going anywhere anytime soon. We know that tomorrow's not promised, right? But I also kind of look at it, I'm not going to be here forever. So as long as YouTube is still there, all of this content is still there. This is something, my daughter and my granddaughter and my friends and all that, they can go back and they can watch this, and it's almost like I'm still here. The only difference is I'm not like, talking back and forth to them, but I mean, that's another thing that I kind of looked at too, and so I'm going to keep on doing this, and if any time down the road, and like I said, this is not something that I'm planning anytime soon, but am I going to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator forever? I don't know. But, in the meantime, hey, I'm going to still do this. One of the things that I'm going to try and do before we get towards, like December, like I said, I want to be able to do other things. I want to be, like the day after Thanksgiving, that weekend, I am not one of those, Black Friday people that'll go to the stores. I go absolutely nowhere near the stores that whole weekend. So I'll have stuff in advance if need be. And that whole weekend, I'm putting up my Christmas tree and I'm decorating, Christmas, in my home. I want to be able to do more baking because that's really the only time I do baking is around Christmas. I want to be able to some of the other crafting stuff that I got. I want to be able to do that stuff too. So, you know, I think that now that we're in the bird months, September, October, November, and December, that, yeah, I want to maybe, do my pre-record stuff in advance and have that all done and scheduled, have everything that I'm going to do for my Fridays, kind of already planned out in advance. So then that way I have some time that I can do other things, and not just constantly, be doing this, because other things I would like to do. So with that, we are now at an hour and 21 minutes, and we're not going to have this as a 2-hour video. And that's another thing. Hmm. When it comes to planning the projects, I got to find something that's going to go by quicker, because my last Friday night live, that went, well, it went for, I think, 2 hours and 37 minutes or something like that. But let me say this again, I started 15 minutes earlier where I wasn't crafting that first 15 minutes. That first 15 minutes was basically me getting that live all set up with the description stuff and everything else. Yeah. Until YouTube fixes it and I can go back to setting everything up in advance, and all I have to do is just hit that button that says live and I'm good to go. That's the other thing. I got to try and get those videos cut down a little bit shorter because that is too long. Because usually the routine is, and this is the truth, I get done at work at 5 o'clock. Then after 5 o'clock, I may be doing things like I'll put makeup on or something. But typically, I don't end up eating dinner until I'm done. So if I go for an hour, that's 8 o'clock. Technically, 8 o'clock is a little bit too late to be eating dinner, to be honest with you. And we know time is just flying by. Next thing you know, it's midnight. So, yeah, there's some things that I have to figure out and kind of, kind of figure that out. So with that, so again, if you had, I don't want the things that I've said to discourage anyone if you were thinking about doing videos. Again, I would say this, that if you first start out doing videos, just start off doing pre-recorded stuff, where you're not gonna, be kind of fearful or whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like all these people are watching me, and I'm messing up and all that. But, just start off with doing pre-recorded stuff, and I've seen many demonstrators when they do their lives. So, okay, you got some that do like 3 projects. Sometimes they do 2. Maybe, if they do more videos during the week, maybe they're just doing 1. I mean, do what you want to do. I mean, you don't, everybody's a little bit different. So, do what you're comfortable with, and and I will tell you, I mean, they say that if you want to effectively, like build your business, you should use current product. Now they say that because if you're creating something and someone watching really likes what you're doing and they want to recreate it, Well, if you tell them that you use retired product and they can't get it, then that's not going to work very well. That's why I'm specific on my Throwback Thursdays that it's retired stash. But and one other thing too that I want to put this I'm going to put this out there, and this is for those that maybe you're a fellow demonstrator thinking about wanting to do videos and all that. I'm going to put this out there because this is one of the things that was like a big, like, I mean, it can just cause, like people to kind of have a come undone. I'm just being honest. But, there have been demos that when they create, okay, for the most part, like the stamp sets and the dies and the punches and whatnot, are Stampin' Up and they're using those, but then maybe they end up bringing something else in that's not Stampin' Up. Okay. Now, there's things that, may bring in, Stampin' Up doesn't carry anymore, or they just never carried it before. And, they're using it in their video. I do want to say this. So, it all comes down to what they call affiliate links. Okay. So if I'm creating, things where, okay, primarily for the most part, I'm using all Stampin' Up stuff, and then I end up bringing something in, okay, Stampin' Up doesn't sell anything like that. An example, this little fine tip bottle, it has excuse me, my throat's starting to get a little bit scratchy. Um, it has, I just happen to have it right behind me. This glue that we sell. So this is the Tombow, Tombow Mono, mul- multi, liquid glue. Okay. I like to put it in there because this glue has a latex in it, so you don't need a lot of this when you're card making. So I like to put in those bottles, okay? Something like that. Stampin' Up doesn't sell that. So I put a link to it in Amazon. Now, am I an affiliate with Amazon? No, I'm not. So if you click on that link, it's just going to take you into Amazon, to that product, and you can order it, and that's that. Now, sometimes, maybe there's something being used that is like a competitive type product. Like, say, if you ended up bringing in some other stamp set that was not Stampin' Up, okay, and you link it, in the description. Now, if it's not an affiliate link, people click on it, they'll see it, they order it. You're not getting anything. You're not getting any little tiny commission or anything, for somebody clicking on that. There are some people that do have affiliate links, but if they're using a competitive product, to Stampin' Up and they provide the link, as long as it's not an affiliate link, you're good. You're fine. But the one thing I will say though, like if you're just starting out doing videos and you're saying that, you're a Stampin' Up demonstrator, it's best to really be using just Stampin' Up product, because I will tell you, just my personal thought is that, if you're if you say you're a Stampin' Up demonstrator, okay, and you're creating projects and then you're bringing other products in that's competitive Stampin' Up, like say for example, our Stampin' Blends, those are our, Stampin' Up's alcohol markers. But say you end up deciding that when you color in an image, you're going to use like some other brand, whether it's like Copic or Spectrum Noir, or, there's a lot of other brands out there as well. And you start using like all this other stuff, well, then your viewers are starting to think, okay, well, then what's wrong? excuse me, what's wrong with the Stampin' Up product that you're not using that? So, it may cause a little bit of a confusion, really, but I'm always upfront. Like I said, when I do my videos, I tend to basically use what's current, and what Stampin' Up, sells, or what was Stampin' Up and what's retired. And again, if I use anything, which is kind of rare, like I said, I use I use these little bottles, you know, um, an adhesive eraser. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little close here. An adhesive eraser. We don't sell these anymore either. So I have linked these, to Amazon again. I don't have any affiliate links, affiliates with any company. So if you click on the link for this, it's just going to take you to Amazon. You order it. I'm not getting anything at all from you doing that. So, and even a lot of these affiliates, you're not getting much of anything. It's just like a little tiny bit. So I just want to put that out there because sometimes when people do that, you get a lot of people that start in the comments saying, yo, you shouldn't be doing that and everything else. And then that becomes very discouraging and everything. So that's just like a little tidbit of info. Um, but again, I think that's it for this. I mean, it's now like an hour and a half, so I think I should be done because I will be, excuse me, again, I don't know. I think I'm just talking too much, so maybe that'll help. So, one thing I will mention, like I said, not creating any projects. Uh, there are just like two things I want to bring up because these are two, well, two housekeeping things that are actually either currently going on or is about to happen or whatever. And for every time that I come on until, these are all said and done, um, I just want to make mention so then that way you're aware of it. So, like I think I mentioned World Card Making Day earlier in the video. Well, World Card Making Day happens on the first Saturday of every October. And last year, Stampin' Up! Did a virtual event, a free virtual event that was open to everybody, not just demonstrators. Um, they're doing it again this year, so I'm going to hold this up into the screen so you can see that QR code. It's hard, I can't really see my phone, and there's a little bit of a delay here. So I'm going to kind of hold this up, and I don't, hopefully it's kind of clear. Maybe back it up a little bit. I will actually put the link to this in the description. But what this is, on October 5th from 2 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, they are going to be doing this virtual event. Now, again, I'm going to put the link in the description. If this QR code didn't come up very well in the phone, I apologize because it's hard to see where it is in the phone when it's blocking it. And of course, there's a delay on my laptop. So, but I'll have the link to this. Now, again, it's a free event. The reason why you want to register for this, and the registration is open until 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday, October 4th. So, what happens when you register for this, they will email you the link to access the platform in which they're going to be doing this. Also, on the 8th of October, it will become available to where you can go back and you can re-watch it or maybe watch it for the first time. If for some reason, you had something else going on that day or during that time frame. And also, everybody that registers, they said that they're going to give a free gift to. So, also, after you register and you get the confirmation email, you'll also get the information on what they're going to use for this event. Now, this event, it's there's card bases and matching envelopes that are in the annual catalog. It's a set of 5 cards with their envelopes. And then also on that page, there's like 4 different ephemera packs. So they're basically printed images that you can just punch out, and you can use dimensionals, adhesive, or whatever to put it on your card. So really easy card making, especially like for your beginner card maker. Um, so that's what they're going to be using for the actual event. Now they're going to give you ideas of what else you can do, and that will be like with our basic white note cards and envelopes, and there's a stamp set, and they'll let you know like what ink to use and all that. So all of that will be in the email they send to you after you register, okay? Now, as far as how long do you have to go back and watch it, I really don't know. Stampin' Up didn't make mention of that. Now, when we did past virtual events, it was about a month's time. I don't know if that's going to be the case with this or not. So I just want to mention that. The other thing too that I want to make mention is paper pumpkin. Now, I did talk more about this when I did my monthly paper pumpkin unboxing, when I created the projects and gave you a sneak peek of the upcoming kits for the rest of the year. So this is the October kit here, and they have like a joining promotion for this, that you can get this kit at 40% off. Now, this kit, the subscription period for this kit ends on October 10th, and you will get the 40% off on that kit. Now, this is for new subscribers. If you had subscribed to Paper Pumpkin before, you want to take advantage of this 40% off this particular kit, um, use a different email address than what you used before. Um, you just go to paperpumpkin.com, um, choose me as your demonstrator of choice, and the area where, like that you can put in a code, like a discount code or something, put in holiday 40, holiday 40, all capital letters. And yeah, that first one you will get at 40% off. And again, I did a sneak peek and let you know what's kind of like in this kit and what's in the November and December kit as well. So go back, I think it was like last week when I did it, and you will see all that info from at the beginning of that video. So with that, just to kind of give you a heads up on what I'm going to be also doing. Again, I also put together a newsletter, so if you would like to be on my newsletter list, I will have that in the description as well. What I do in my newsletters, at the beginning of the month, when, every month Stampin' Up comes up with 2 new kits in their kits collection, and I like to include pictures and descriptions of those. And sometimes they don't give it to you at the very beginning of the month, and maybe a couple of days in. But in my newsletter, I have stuff on what's on my YouTube channel. So there will be a whole schedule of what I do, what products I'm using, or I'm featuring actually on my Thursdays, on my Fridays, the paper pumpkin kit. If there's a holiday, when I'm going to be using for that too. So I'll have all of that in that section. I will have like whatever in-person events that I'm going to do for the month, things that Stampin' Up has going on. I have links, if you're now working with another demonstrator and you want any of our copies of our catalogs, I have links there that you can reach out to me to get those. And again, I also include the stuff about the kits. So I typically only send one a month, except like this month, I did send out another one when we found out that there was going to be a free shipping day that happened, I think, last week. So, other than that, I don't bombard you with, like a daily like newsletter. I just typically do it for the most part once a month. So if you're interested and you want to be on my newsletter list, there is going to be a link in the description of the video. Just click on that, put in your name and your email address, and you'll be added. And I will send out I'll include you in with the newsletter. Um, Other than that, this coming for this week on my videos, uh, on Thursday the 26th, I will be featuring the Country Lane Suite. Again, Throwback Thursday is using my retired stash. So I'll be using the Country Lane Suite that has a stamp set, the DSP, some twine, some embellishment. So I'm going to be I'll be doing, oh, and there's an embossing folder. So I'll be doing 2 cards with that. And then on Friday the 27th, I will be using the Humble Home Bundle. That's actually like kind of like the bundle they feature on the cover of the holiday mini. So that's that house punch with the coordinating stamp set. So I'm going to be featuring that on Friday on the 27th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I would love for you to come in and join me for that. And again, at the end of my video, I do a giveaway on the 3 projects that I made. Um, and then I have to work on what I'm doing for October. So I definitely have plenty of stuff to work with. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do on what days. Now, I did post a video uh, yesterday on Sunday. It was the first day. I labeled it as a special holiday video. It wasn't really a holiday, it was the first day of fall. And fall is my favorite season. And I actually featured in, we have a digital brochure for scrapbooking stuff. And in there is this really cool scrapbooking workshop kit that's Autumn to Remember. So I use products and the stamp set from that kind of like kit or suite, I guess you could call it, of products to create 3 cards. So if you haven't seen that yet, like I said, I just posted that one yesterday. So those cards kind of came out really cool. So again, thank you everyone that's come back and watched this video again. I did this as an unlisted live, so nobody is seeing this while I'm live. But thank you for watching. And if you found that the content in this on what I talked about is useful and helpful to you, be sure to give the video a like. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it helps me in not only growing this channel, it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. And yeah, I have content, like literally at least 2 videos every week. So I hope that you will come join me this Friday when I'm live. And everyone, be safe and have a blessed one. Bye bye.